Hello and welcome to the Technology Desk Tidy project presentation on materials. So what we're going to look at are different types of materials like metals, woods, plastics and natural occurring materials. Looking at the different products around you, pause the video and think just for 2 minutes what the materials are and why those products are made from those materials. Okay, so the first material we're going to look at is metal, and generally metals are pretty strong. They can be cast, molded and forged into different shapes, and they are very easily recycled. They come in loads of different types, so they can be used for lots of different products. Next up are woods. They are quite cost effective. They're pretty strong generally. They are very sustainable. Obviously, they grow on trees, so they can be replanted. Some woods, like oak trees, take a long time to grow, so they're not as sustainable as sort of pines. Okay, so plastics are extremely versatile. They come in all sorts of shapes, colours. They can be moulded into any sort of shape. Depends what process you use to do that, but they are not generally considered to be very environmentally friendly, as some are difficult to recycle. Natural materials in their raw forms, such as like sort of clays, are not very useful, but once they've been processed into like sort of ceramics, like plates and things, they're obviously much more useful. They are considered to be quite sustainable as there's abundant amounts of them. There are lots of different types of metals. They come in a couple of categories. The first one really is ferrous metals. If you notice, it begins with Fe. Now Fe is the chemical symbol for iron. So steels, stainless steels, wrought iron, these all contain iron, so they are considered ferrous. Another category of metals is non-ferrous metals. These are elements such as aluminium, copper, gold, nickel. We use these metals for their different physical properties, so some can be bent easier, some are stronger than others, and some are higher melting points, so they can be used for cooking. So another classification of metals then is alloys, and alloys are just a mixture of different metals. So for example, you might have copper coins, and they do contain copper, but they also contain nickel to slow down the tarnishing process of the copper. So woods, we generally have two different types of woods. We go softwoods and hardwoods. Softwoods are coniferous trees, so they are ones with pine cones. They're generally cheaper and they don't take long to grow, whereas hardwoods are generally more expensive because they take a long time to grow and they're hard to work with. They're usually like sort of oak trees, birch. So the difference is really softwoods are used for like cheaper furniture and framework, which you don't see, and oaks are used for like really expensive looking nice things. Plastic is considered to be quite bad for the environment. Most of it's not easily recyclable, and it comes from crude oil, most of it. Um, most plastics are considered to be sort of throwaway plastics. So, like if you look at polystyrene cups, for example, they're disposable and they're almost impossible to recycle. Nylon is a different type of plastic. It can be really hard and rigid, like the shuttlecocks you see here, or it can be woven into fabrics. Um, and the last plastic we look at is polyethylene. It is pretty widely recyclable, so as long as people are responsible with the product and they do recycle that, it's got a wide variety of uses. So the last materials we're going to look at are natural materials, and really they can either be sort of grown in their raw form and used, or they can be processed. So if you look at glass, when it's melted and then hardened, it forms a clear sheet material, so it's great for windows. You can also be molded into like glasses and things and vessels for drinking out of. Cotton then is grown naturally, and in its raw form you can use it as like sort of cotton buds and cotton wool. And when it's processed, then it can be used as thread, so you can use it as jumpers or shirts or different items of clothing. Ceramics are made from clay. They're fired in an oven at a high temperature to harden them. They're very hard. They have a very high melting point, which makes them ideal for like crockery, kitchenware, and also for use in braking systems. Okay, so we'd like to take a quiz. That's on Teams. If you can try your best, don't worry, you don't get all the questions right. Poor luck and thanks for watching the video.